ScentedASMR. Hello everyone, welcome to Scented ASMR. Today we're going to talk about 4 different fruity notes. I picked some of my favorite fruity notes, and I'm going to share with you my top 2 picks for each fruity note. We're going to start with the note of Pear, and this is my first pick for the Pear note, and it's from Gaultier, and this is La Belle. More fragrance comes in this like tin can. It's interesting packaging. And so La Belle is considered an amber vanilla fragrance, and it was released in 2019. The perfumer, there's 2 of them, it's Quentin Beige and Sonia Constant. The top notes are pear and bergamot. Mid notes are floral notes and leather. The base notes are vanilla, vetiver, amber, and musk. And this is a very sweet, fruity vanilla fragrance. The pear and the vanilla are definitely the most dominant notes in here. And the pear it's a fresh and juicy pear, but at the same time, it's also very sweet and syrupy. Almost like it's a syrupy cooked pear. The vanilla in here is also sweet and syrupy, and you can smell the vetiver in here. It's in there as a supporting note, and it's earthy, but it's soft, it's not overpowering, it kind of stays in the background, and it lets the pear and the vanilla shine. I don't pick up any of the leather in here. I don't know if other people do, but I don't get any leather from here. This one is really, really enjoyable. I think it's a lovely, well done gourmand fragrance. And it's something that I enjoy wearing it year round. I'll wear it in any weather. It's just really pretty and feminine and very sweet and girly. I like both this version and also the Le Perfume version. I'm not sure which one's my favorite, but I think it's this one. But they're both absolutely beautiful. And so that's La Belle, and it's by Gaultier. The next choice that I have for my Pear fragrance, this one is by Amouage, and it's called Guidance. Amouage has really nice packaging. The pretty box. It's like a nice beige color with flowers in it all around it. And the beautiful bottle. Amouage always has beautiful bottles. And this is a really nice, pretty pinky peach color with a beige cap, a beige emblem. Matches the box. And so Guidance is considered a floral fruity fragrance, and it was released in 2023. The perfumer is Quentin Biche. He did Belle as well, so I must really enjoy the way he uses Pear in fragrances. He's a really good perfumer. The top notes are pear, hazelnut, olibanum, and the mid notes are osmanthus, rose, saffron, and jasmine sambac. Base notes are sandalwood, vanilla, akigalawood, ambergris, and labdanum. And this is a very unique, woody, fruity fragrance. I find it a little difficult to describe. It's very well blended, and I don't really pick out the notes individually unless I look for them. The opening is kind of like a spicy poached pear with some woodiness, and the woodiness to me smells kind of like a cedar chest. As the fragrance dries down, and I start to get a creamy, fruity vanilla fragrance. And I start to smell some of that osmanthus. And osmanthus tends to smell like apricots. I do detect the rose in here, and I get a little bit of like peppery spice, and I think that's from the akigalawood, which is supposed to be like a woody note that's like reminiscent of oud and patchouli. It's supposed to be like kind of a cleaned up patchouli note. And to my nose, it usually kind of comes off as spicy and woody. I actually really enjoy it. This fragrance is, it's a big love for me. It was a love at first sniff. It's almost, well, I would say it is signature scent worthy for me, if I had a signature scent. It's definitely very unique though, and not a safe blind buy, so make sure you test it before you purchase it if you want to purchase it. And so that's a guidance, and it's by Amouage. So my next fruity note is black currant. And this is my first choice for the black currant note, and this is Fiori by Armani. This pretty, like, powdery pink bottle. I think this is a very good representation of how the fragrance smells. And so Fiori, it's considered a chypre floral fragrance, and it was released in 2019. The perfumer is Julie Mass. The top notes are black currant and green mandarin. Mid notes are neroli, rose, patchouli, and oak moss. The base notes are vanilla and musk. And this is a powdery, fruity rose and vanilla scent. The fruitiness in here, it comes from the black currant, and it's not a juicy black currant. I don't get any juiciness in here. Sometimes I get juiciness from black currant. But the rose, you definitely get rose in here, and it's a soft and delicate pink rose. The vanilla that's in here, it's sweet, and it's creamy, and it's fluffy. The musk gives this fragrance a powdery and fluffy texture. To me, it's almost like a marshmallowy texture. It's so fluffy. Although I wouldn't really consider this a gourmand fragrance. It's not a marshmallow fragrance. It's just, that's the texture I get from it. So I get a fluffiness from the musk, and definitely a creaminess from the vanilla. And then the fruitiness from the black currant. And I do pick up the neroli in here too. I think it adds a little bit of a citrus note. And it's not a green or bitter neroli, it's just a softly citrus scent. I don't get any of the patchouli or the oak moss in here. I don't smell that at all. This is a very, I think it's very feminine and ethereal. And it would make the perfect bridal scent. They unfortunately discontinued this, and it's very sad. I wish they wouldn't have, but you can still find it. I see it. I see it sometimes on discounter sites. I like the sea line, but this is the only one I've liked enough to buy a bottle. And so that's C. Fiori, and it's by Giorgio Armani. And so my next pick for the black currant note is in this beautiful bottle here, and this is called Soie Malaquais, and it's from Dries Van Noten. Such a beautiful, beautiful bottle. Really interesting with the kind of ceramic down here with the birds and the swan and the florals. And it has the glass here. And a nice interesting cap. Kind of a brushed metal. And so Soie Malaquais was launched in 2022. And the perfumer is Marie Salomon. It's considered an amber fragrance. The top notes are black currant and bergamot. The mid notes are silk and rose. Base notes are chestnut and cacao. And this is a beautifully blended, very elegant floral gourmand fragrance. You definitely get the rose in here, and it combines with the black currant, and it creates a lightly sweet, jammy rose. The silk note gives this fragrance a silky smooth texture. And the chestnut, it adds a nutty creaminess to the fragrance. The cacao adds to the gourmand aspect of the fragrance, and it becomes more and more prominent as the fragrance dries down. And this is just a really beautifully blended, unique fragrance. I think it's in the masterpiece level territory. It's really well done. So it's nice if you're looking for an elegant, sophisticated floral gourmand. And so that's Soie Malaquais, and it's from Dries Van Noten. And so my next fruity note is Plum. And the first pick I have here is called Fever, and it's by Choo. And so Fever is considered an amber vanilla fragrance, and it was launched in 2018. The perfumers are Honorine Blanc and Natalie Lorson. I really like both of those perfumers. They do really good work. The top notes are plum and lychee and grapefruit. Mid notes are heliotrope, vanilla orchid, jasmine, and orange blossom. Base notes are tonka bean, vanilla, benzoin, coffee, hazelnut, and sandalwood. And this is a very warm and cozy, fruity vanilla fragrance. The plum is very prominent, but it's not a juicy plum. It's a deep, dark, and syrupy sweet plum. The heliotrope and the tonka bean, they add a lot of warmth and powderiness to the fragrance. The base notes of the vanilla, the benzoin, and the tonka bean, they also add a lot of warmth and make this fragrance very, very cozy. The coffee is there, but I think that it sits in the far background. It's not a strong or a bitter coffee at all. I think it also adds to the coziness of the fragrance. And I really enjoy this one for the cooler weather. The performance isn't the best. It's very soft and it stays close to the skin and only lasts about 4 hours, but I really like it a lot. It's just a nice, powdery, fruity, cozy vanilla. And so that's Fever, and it's by Jimmy Choo. My next choice for the plum note is called Musc Noir Rose, and it's by Narciso Rodriguez. A pretty minimalistic bottle. It's also like a pinky plum color. And so Musc Noir Rose is considered an amber floral fragrance, and it was released in 2022. The perfumer is Sonia Constant. The top notes are plum, pink pepper, and bergamot. The mid notes are musk, rose, and tuberose. The base note is vanilla. And this is a musky, fruity vanilla scent. I really pick up the plum note. It's probably the most prominent note to my nose, and it's a very deep and dark and juicy plum. I know this is called Musc Noir Rose, but I think the tuberose in here is more prominent than the rose note. At least to my nose it is. And this fragrance is very super sweet, but it does have a little bit of spice in it from that pink pepper. And I think this has a nod to like a vintage 80s or 90s perfume. Just a little bit. It doesn't smell vintage or dated. It just kind of has a little nod to it. But still, this does smell like a modern perfume. Don't let that scare you away. But this was an absolute love at first sniff for me. I smelled it and just immediately wanted to order a bottle. It gets a lot of hype, and I think the hype is well deserved. It's a very sweet and elegant feminine fragrance. I will say I think the performance is kind of poor. It's very soft, and I don't think it lasts very long. But maybe that's just me. And so that's Musc Noir Rose, and it's from Narciso Rodriguez. The next fruity note is peach, and this is my first pick. It's called Mula, and it's by the house of Byron. And this is considered an amber spicy fragrance, and it was released in 2018. The top notes are caramel, peach, strawberry, and raspberry. The mid notes are ginger, pink pepper, and labdanum. The base notes are vanilla, musk, oud, and patchouli. And this is a sweet, very fruity caramel fragrance. The fruit that I pick up the most is definitely the peach. It's the most dominant to me. But I do also smell some of that strawberry in here. The fruity notes are very nicely blended in. And the caramel in here, it's very sweet and syrupy caramel. It kind of smells to me like the fruits were drizzled with caramel. I do smell the oud in here, but it's a very soft and smooth oud, and it's blended in really, really well. It just kind of adds some depth to the fragrance. I I enjoy a lot of Byron fragrances. I think they have some unique gourmands, and they're really high quality and well blended. And this is one of my all-time favorites. Definitely one of my favorite fruity fragrances. It also has very, very good performance. Just a few sprays will last me all day. And it projects, people can smell it. I often get a lot of compliments on this one. And I think this one works well in weather that's not too hot and not too cold. So I don't like to wear it in the high heat, but on a cooler summer day it works. And so that's Mula, and it's from Byron. My next pick for the peach note is called Dialogue with Venus, and it's by Pierre, Guillaume. That's a nice presentation here. A pretty white bottle. Another one where I think that the color of the bottle, it represents the fragrance well. It's like a creamy white. It says Dialogue with Venus. And so, Dialogue with Venus was released in 2022, and the perfumer is Pierre, Guillaume. The notes are vanilla, ylang-ylang, white musk, peach, seawater, and sandalwood. And this is a light, airy, peachy vanilla fragrance. It's, like I said, the vanilla in here, it's a fluffy, light and airy vanilla. It's fluffy, but it's also creamy. I think the ylang-ylang might be adding some creaminess to this, but the white musk adds a lot of fluffiness. And the peach is definitely very prominent to my nose. And so this comes off to me kind of like it smells like a peach yogurt. Because I would say ice cream, but I think ice cream would be too dense since this fragrance is airy and fluffy. I don't pick up any of the seawater in here, or the sandalwood. There may be a little bit of a slight saltiness to it from the seawater, but that's about it. think this is a really nice vanilla for the summer season. It's pretty and it's unisex, but I think it leans feminine. The scent bubble I get from this is really, really enjoyable. And so, that's Dialogue with Venus, and it's by Pierre, Guillaume. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed the video and that it was relaxing for you. And I hope to see you again in my next video. Take care.